Hi there, this is Brooke Kroger, Creative Country Mom, and this is Notes from a Country Garden, a tour of our property. So here we go. I warn you, the tour is on the four-wheeler and it's a little bumpy, but here we are traveling up our front driveway, and you can see the view of the big lake, and here we pass by some of the flower beds. We'll get back to those in a minute. And when you park your car, it will be in this area, and you will see the Butterfly Hill and views of both of the lakes. So this is quite a treat when you get to park your car and come out. Sometimes this is quite a few minutes before anyone gets to my front door. They kind of want to look around. So if you walk up the back walk, you're going to go to our deck. Now, this is an extremely hot area, but we've been blessed. I have a very long 24-foot, I think, awning, and I can put that out, and it will produce shade it almost goes to the end of the deck. But it has great views of both the lakes. We're on 48 acres of water that is divided by our road, so there's 30 acres on one side and 18 acres on our side, and that is part of our property. We have just under 7 acres, and you can see the deck overlooks the rose garden and the iris beds, and you can see pretty much all of my back garden areas from the deck, and it's fun to look down. The area you see there with the trees that are small, that's the area my husband has been cleaning out. Pretty much most of our property was wooded with some thorny bushes, and it's been a lot of work. We've owned, this fall it'll be 8 years we've owned the property, and it's a continuingly job. As you can see, the hardest thing I have to grow out here, there you can see the awning, the hardest thing it is to grow is grass. All of my beds are amended. We are on reclaimed coal mine ground. So my soil isn't necessarily topsoil. It's kind of a mix, and it's very hard, and runoff is a big factor, and so just getting good grass has been a challenge, but each year it looks better. This is my Butterfly Hill. Lots of irises have been blooming here. This area is still fairly new, but it's filling in quite nicely. I had a lot of frost damage, so if you see some brown leaves, it was from that. And there's my dry creek bed, and all of those rocks were from here on the property. There were not rocks brought in. So here we are back, and we're going to go around the front of the house. I warn you, it's a bit bumpy. This photography is not going to win any awards today, but you can see several roses and irises and shrubs and alliums and clematis and well, about everything blooming up through there. Some things have been cut back, so they look a little immature, but they will fill out by fall. You'll never notice that they have been trimmed. That's Sweet William, the red and pink. It's glorious this year. Speaking of Sweet William, we're going to circle around here and go to the wildflower bed. Now, it looks like pretty much a mass of green right now, but I was just out there today and looked, and there are tons of buds on the wildflowers. I'm guessing by the end of the week or the first of next week that the broadleaf yellow coreopsis that's so bright and many other things will be blooming, and it will just be a huge flush of color. I do have a few things blooming this spring, like the yarrows and the columbines and a few irises, but in a few weeks it's just going to be a mass of color. There you can see a good shot of the outside of the house. And here is probably the area that I don't photograph enough, but I'm awful proud of. We talked about the coal mine ground. All of these rocks were found when they dug our basement. 52 boulders is what we ended up with, and I couldn't pick a favorite. I love them all. We have fires down here as often as we can, and I have a lot of evergreens and daylilies and grasses, and we love this area. We light the tiki torches and have fires at night, and it's a perfect place on the holidays. We light fireworks and can watch them over the lake from here. And let's go back to the front porch, because I know a lot of people talk about the front porch. There's Toby, the garden kitty. And there is one of those, I guess it's a food scale. It's an old antique scale, and I put a container in it. You can see the arbor. This is an old wicker couch that nobody sits on, so I've let the clematis climb all over it, and I love the effect. There you can see out to the front yard a bit. More Nellie Moser and Henry I. clematis, and an old bench with a lot of different containers on it. There's Henry I. clematis and my little red chairs. The sign says a day in the country is worth a month in town, and I completely agree. And more clematis. Almost all of my sections of porch have a clematis growing up. Eventually my husband laughs and says you won't be able to see the house, that I will just turn everything green. My front swing, which we spend a lot of time on, actually there's 2 swings on the property, and actually there's 3 girls. We actually could use another one because each of our girls, we have our favorite spots to sit. So here you can see the front yard, and here in a second comes Miley. Every time I'm outside, she's with me. Thank you so much for stopping by. I apologize for my photography, but I'm so glad you could join me.